welcome to Sin English Poems, where poetry reaches the soul. And today we're gonna diving some interesting books that I wish I have read a long time ago, and I hope to finish by this year, going into next year. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I can do it. So let's dive into this exciting list today and see what happens. And I hope you find some of these books interesting and try to read them also. They're great books based on the reviews that I've seen. Great authors, and if you're new at reading or you wanted to, start your reading path or journey, these are some great books that we can, read together, grow together, even talk about it in the comments. If you have ever read any of these books, you can, mention something about the book that you really liked or anything that you'd like. So let's get into the video. So this year I was really into focusing on epistolary books, meaning books that included letters between different persons or by one person, emails, diary entries, journal entries, stuff like that. Those type of books. I was really focusing on those books this year because I was writing something in that genre. So I wanted to focus on those books, see if I could get any tips and stuff from some of the greatest writers in history. So most of the books that I'll be talking about today in this video will go more to that genre. Not all the books, but most of them will go to the epistolary genre. So let's get started. So the first book I have on the list, I'm not going to necessarily follow this particular order, but I listed them based on how I remembered the books I wanted to read, because I do have a book list. So I'm going to give you 10 of my book list. There are more, of course, but these are the 10 that I really want to get into as soon as possible. Yeah. So the first one we have is the Harry Potter series. Yeah. A lot of persons have read this by J.K. Rowling. A lot of persons have read these series. I have not. It's somewhat embarrassing in a sense, but I have not read the series, and I'm going to correct my mistake, okay? I'm going to correct my mistake by reading it as soon as possible. I have watched all the movies, and I have not read even a line of the book. It sounds crazy, I know, but it's the truth. So that's one of the top 10 books I have to get started on and try to complete the series in my own time, right? Because I have to, when I'm reading stuff or watching stuff, I like to pay attention to every single detail. I have to understand the character as much as possible. Even though I've read the movies, I would like to understand Harry, Hermione, and all of those characters from the actual book, the original script and all. So yeah, so I would really like to dive into the Harry Potter series books. So number two on my list, this is an epistolary novel. It's Pamela by Samuel Richardson. So it was written in about 1740. So this is one of the old books, but it's a really good book for literature lovers, who are into what you call it, classics. Yeah, if you're into classics, it's a really, really good epistolary novel. So it talks about marriage and some stuff like that. That's why I need to read it to really get into it. I don't really like reading summaries on books. It's kind of like a spoiler for me. So, Pamela by Samuel Richardson. That's a 1740 book. And best believe, I'm gonna dive in it. So, that's number 2 on the list. 3 on the list is Letters of Two Brides. Okay? By Honore de Balzac. So, it's basically another epistolary novel. As I stated, we're going to hear a lot of them. So this was about 1841, 1842, according to my little research, right? It's about like 2 friends talking about motherhood, marriage, moving on in life. So I would really like to see what they were talking about. Probably you got who out there, you need some tips on marriage, or you can take a look at this novel right here. So I was first introduced to this author when I was in high school. I actually heard his name in a quiz match and took a note of it. So I would really like to see what his work really entails. Yeah. Number 4 on the list is Poor Folk by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have been hearing about this book since high school. It's also epistolary. So I would really like to read that. Yeah. Number 5, The Tenant of Wilfeld Hall by Anne Bronte. She's one of the Bronte sisters. I would really like to read that. That's also an epistolary novel. Very interesting, to be honest, because I've never read. What? I've never read a Bronte sisters work. Yeah, and I think that would be a great achievement for me as a reader and someone who loves literature. Number 6, Dracula by Bram Stoker. Yeah. Along with that, I would love to read Frankenstein. Yeah, Mary Shelley. I would like to read Frankenstein. Also, I'm really interested in reading Dracula because it's in epistolary style. So that must be something really interesting to dig into. Number 7, The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. That's also an epistolary novel. So I really like to dive into that also. For number 8, I think that's where we are. I would really like to read Alice Walker's The Color Purple. I have watched the movie countless times. It used to be aired on television, TVJ. It used to be aired on it, and I used to watch it a lot. It used to come like in the night, like 10 p.m., probably on a Sunday night. They were pretty unpredictable on when it was aired, but that's where I saw the movie, never read the book, and I would like to read that book. It's also epistolary. Yeah. Another book or series of books that I wish I have read a long time ago was The Lord of the Rings. I have seen Frodo in action on the screen. Of course, I've watched the whole trilogy, but I've never read it. And I think it would be quite interesting for me to read about the characters. Not only, I would like to know them written, you get what I'm saying, because I've already seen them on the screen. I have an idea of them, but not everything that's in the movie is in the book. Yeah, sometimes they leave out things from the book just to fit in the screen time for the movie. So I'd like to read the books. And the final book on my list is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I have watched the movie on Netflix. I really cried basically through half that movie. Really interesting. And I would really like to see the development of the plot and everything and the characters in the book. As I stated, anything that I've watched, I would really like to see how it is on paper. As I said, not everything that's in the movie is in the book. Some things are probably left out or, yeah. So that's my list of all the books that I would love to read and should have probably read a long time ago but did not. Let's not talk about the past, but I'm here to change all of that. So comment below if you ever read any of these books. Give us a rating out of 10 if you think it's a good idea for me to read the books that I mentioned today. You can also share your suggestions and how that certain work made you feel. And, put your suggestions in the comments. We need them. I need them. So, thanks for watching and have a great one. Remember, it's an English poem, poetry that touches the soul. Okay? Bye. See you next time.